The third finish up this Sunday. We might save the best for last. And off we go here in the wild card round. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by a guy who has a couple years under his belt in the NFL, their third-year quarterback.
And we can talk all we want about football being a team game and leaning on different parts and aspects in order to get it done. And that's entirely true during the regular season. Some weeks it's the defense, the special teams, running the football. But in the playoffs, all the pressure reverts to the quarterback, and he has to play well and play at a really high level in order for his team to win.
He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at second down. Now it's Nix. Steps away to his left. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. To throw is Nix. And that is incomplete.
That was their first third down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key third down throws.
On is the punter, Johnston, now as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 23. Following the punt return here, there is someone shaken up. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at about the 32. Now the first carry for Zach Moss. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3. They run out of the gun with Brooks here. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. 3rd and 2. Throwing now is Mahomes. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Oh, I like the calmness of how he played the ball here. No panic in his eyes as that throw arrived. Tracked it from the moment it left the quarterback's hand, and that's just where he needed to be to knock it away.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And coming out now, the Broncos. And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for. Yeah, that's a nice pickup there, especially when it comes on the heels of a 3 and out the first time you have the ball. They were determined to not have that happen again, and that's a nice throw for their first down of the game.
Throwing Nix. And Diggs has it.
Timing is everything, and they work on this cut all the time. They work on all the timing patterns, and this time it paid off for them. Worked him to the center of the field, cut it to the outside, ball's delivered, gets both feet down for the completion.
Open man is Juwan Jennings. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a 1st down. And now some motion before the snap. And this will be our first penalty of the night's proceedings. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. A false start backs them up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty. It's Williams. And shedding the tackle, and now some room. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. From the 44-yard line, here's second down and 8. Off the play fake. Nix. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Points 1, 2, and 3 in their defensive game plan was to get to the quarterback and knock the ball free. They did it there. Luckily, offense hangs on to it.
Yeah, that's got to serve as a wake-up call, though, because they can't afford to let the ball go over to the defense and miss opportunities. And I'm not saying it happened here, but you know what a good rule of thumb is when a play like that occurs? You know who usually recovers it? The guy who missed his block and let his quarterback get hit.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. And that one will skip out of bounds as the linesman will mark this thing right at the 15-yard line. Kansas City taking the field for their second drive. And a 3 and out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
Palmer going in motion right. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. It'll go as a gain of 25 on a play that started back at the 25. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Here's Mahomes to throw. He's got his man. It's the tight end, Brevin Jordan. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. Here's 2nd and 3. And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now Mahomes. And this one's incomplete. Let's try to get that to Brevin Jordan. And it's 3rd and short. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Mahomes going to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Moss. Just a gain of a couple there. And it'll be 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
They're going to run for it. It's Moss. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Well, we kind of looked at each other as they decided to go for it. But in the end, great execution, a 6-yard gain, and it all works out. Mahomes now to throw. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
How about that? Red man coverage and decided to test him early. But they proved up to the task and forced the incompletion.
Now here's Mahomes. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Jordan. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Looking to throw is Mahomes. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down. And again, it's Mahomes. He'll drop this underneath the Moss. And down inside the 15 he goes. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. To throw, it's Mahomes. On the throw led him too much that time. It's incomplete.
The coverage keyed in on him since that last completion his way. He earned a little more attention on that route, and that made it a lot tougher to get a clean throw his way.
On 2nd and 10, Mahomes to the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Give him credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal from the right hash, and this one just a chippy. Tucker's kick is good, and the Chiefs are out to a 3-0 lead. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. And the defense closes quickly there. He'll get maybe a yard to the 33. They'll come up now 3rd and 3. Here's Nix. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he will have a Broncos 1st down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards. Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Broncos football as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. That one good for 13 and a Denver 1st down. Nix to the air. And that is incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
Up the middle they go. Clemens. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
That is caught. And he'll be brought down with a 1st down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 28. 18 big yards on that one and a Denver 1st. Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, and he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the 1st down.
On play action, here's Nix looking for the end zone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
As we've seen, their first 2 drives didn't yield anything points-wise. Certainly feels like they think to themselves, it's time to open this thing up, taking the big shot downfield.
To throw, here's Nix. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Quincy Williams worked his way back for that sack. The Broncos on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. And maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming. Pick them up. Pick them up. And someone jumped.
From the gun on third down. Nix. And now the ball's out. Fumble near midfield. And it's picked up by the Chiefs. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
Well, that's a down and distance coaches always talking about trying to avoid, isn't it? I mean, that's 3rd and long. And you just know they're pinning their ears back and coming after him. Sometimes even with extra pressure.
And he knew that. I mean, he knew they were coming. He just fumbled it.
Yeah, he knew it. The offensive line knew it. Everyone did. Yet the pressure was still there, and he ended up coughing it up.
The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. Well, what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here on the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
The Chiefs will use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. Here's 2nd and 7. Right back to Moss. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
From the gun on third down, Mahomes. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Good running right there. And this is a man who's a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season, so you know he's going to get his chances, and he picks up nice yardage on that one.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted. A false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on second down. Looking to throw. Nix. It's caught downfield by Mechie. Still going inside the 20. And all the way home for a Broncos score. John Mechie, 83 yards. And the Broncos have taken the lead. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Evan McPherson now for the PAT. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. and that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 40 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up 2nd down. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Short throw into the hands of Jordan. And he was able to shed 1 tackle, but could not get away from there. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to convert by plenty there on 3rd and 1.
And that's understanding where the markers are, because it's not just running to them. Because on the catch, you could actually be pushed back before the 1st down. It's getting past it and allowing that opportunity to drift back towards the 1st down line and still having picked it up. Really well run.
They'll run on 1st down with Moss. And they're down to the 41.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
And the play clock about to expire. Andy Reid notices it and takes a timeout. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on 1st down. The 1st down line at the 34 here on 3rd down. Throwing now is Mahomes. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the 1st down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
Yeah, they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. And this turns into a nice gain with a slide at the end. Able to find a lot of empty space there, picking up the 1st down and a 21-yard gain.
Certainly not the way they drew it up in the playbook, but that's why they love this guy back there. He sees things breaking down, and he's more than capable of finding an escape route and still getting a decent gain.
They'll look to throw here. And it's caught. That was the 9th play of the drive, and they pick up 9 yards with it.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that inline point-of-attack blocker that we used to have in the good old days, but you can flex him out. You can run wide receiver routes with him. You can make him a primary target, and that's how he'll shred a defense.
Here's Mahomes, 3rd and goal. Touchdown! Brevin Jordan from 4 yards out. And the Chiefs are once again back in front.
You get down near the goal line, this is where having a sure-handed tight end becomes a luxury, and it pays off big time, especially when the defense sells out against the run. He finds himself open for an easy touchdown.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it's capped off with a Kansas City touchdown. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. Past midfield, look out. And finally, he's out of bounds, but not before a great return. He's all the way inside the 30.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
And Denver getting set to take the field.
As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game, and they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
A big play that time on the catch and run. And the Broncos are going to have a new set of downs. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. So it's first and goal and a great opportunity to get that lead back before the break.
Williams fighting, but he won't get too far. Maybe a yard, that's all, down to the 2.
Only a yard on the pickup there. Second and goal.
Throwing Nix.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown.
John Mechie
with his second touchdown here in this first half.
And the Broncos have moved out in front in the second quarter, and already his second touchdown reception.
Absolutely the definition of a difference maker here in this first half. Clearly one of his quarterback's favorite targets in this game, and I figure he's going to draw a little more attention and coverage moving forward.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And the lead is now 14-10. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive.
And it was all capped off by a John Mechie touchdown reception. After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Out comes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. The returns on the last drive, pretty good. 7 for 7, touchdown pass. Probably take that, right?
I would say so. I mean, when you're cutting them apart that way, feeling so accurate, so confident going downfield, and then able to culminate by putting it in the end zone, oh, yeah, he's feeling real good right now.
Now he'll try to carry that over to this drive. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Working from the gun, Mahomes. A quick throw, but incomplete.
Josh Palmer, the intended target.
And it's 3rd and short. Here's Mahomes to throw.
Got a man, it's complete, it's Palmer. And he will have a Chiefs first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
In motion goes the tight end. Now Mahomes.
Short throw into the hands of Jordan.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half.
Now 2nd and 3.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. Mahomes to throw once more. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play.
We'll step aside and get an update when we return to KC.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Final shot before the half from Mahomes. And his throw is incomplete. So we're at halftime in this AFC Wildcard matchup. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. This, the last of our 3 games on this Sunday. One more to follow tomorrow night as we wrap up a very exciting 3 days of Super Wildcard weekend. We'll begin up in the Steel City, Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh, where it was definitely a game with some intrigue, as you can see by the scoreline. The Patriots knew a victory was necessary to have any shot, and they got it, as they'll finish the regular season at 10-7. Meanwhile, nothing settled in our wild card game. It's a tight one as we get ready for the third quarter. Standing by to take you the rest of the way, let's get it back to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
Both teams try to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC wildcard game.
And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Chiefs ready to go on offense to begin quarter number 3. They do trail, but they have a chance to possess the football first to try and do something about it.
And that certainly makes it something of an important drive for them, because is it going to win the game? No, but you have to do something to bring some life to your sideline.
And he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
They'll toss this right side to Moss.
And he'll go down after losing yardage at the 10.
And the officials here going to pause the game for a second. Looks like there's an injured Chief on the field.
We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead.
On 2nd down, it's Moss again. Running free at the 45.
He gets it across the 50 and down to the 48.
78 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
He had been held in check. Now he breaks that big run. Shows the explosiveness we all knew was there.
All right, tell the truth now. You knew it was just a matter of time, didn't you? We've seen this so many times from him. Hold him down, and then breaks out.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 48-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter.
Up the middle with Brooks here.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. They'll have to deal with a 2nd and 14 now after the loss. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. And the Broncos get there and take him down. Khalil Mack, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Gonna need better protection here. 3rd and long following the sack from Mahomes and company. They'll set up a throw.
They'll get this over the middle here to Palmer.
And they'll get this across midfield, but not nearly close to a 1st down as he stopped at the 48. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now as he's on to punt for Kansas City. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20.
The Broncos offense and Bo Nix getting set for this next possession. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
The Broncos onto the field ready to start their next drive. They begin the drive with Williams.
And they'll get to him quickly here as he'll get a yard, just a yard to the 22. From the 22 now, here's the 2nd and 9. operating from the gun. Here's Nix.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the third quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly at the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
And in a situation like this, you're in the second half with the lead, trying to get to the division round. They're going to let him do his thing on the ground, and that's a great run there to pick up a first down.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 10 more there and another first down.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Over the middle, he has Okonkwo.
Yeah, he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's second down at a yard. To throw is Nix. He gets this one to Mechie.
Able to get the 1 yard he needed, but nothing more.
Now it's Nix. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down. Here's Nix.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. They push him back 8 yards and time on second down.
Well, this has turned into an absolute week to forget for this quarterback. Multiple sacks, pair that with multiple turnovers. As far as he's concerned, if he ever sees this defense again, it'll be way too soon.
9th play of the drive now on 3rd and a country mile.
Nix from the shotgun. And that nearly the pick that they needed. He couldn't pull it in, though, and it's 4th down.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Shotgun snap to Mahomes.
That'll be caught. It's Tony.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 22 yards there, a first down.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 43. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Looking for Tony on the out route, and he's got him. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. On the counter, this is Moss.
And he'll get 4 here down to the 35-yard line.
I don't care what the emphasis is in the NFL at any given time. Every defense is still going to say their #1 goal every game is stop the run. And right now, they're not doing that, and that really chips away at your confidence.
To throw, it's Mahomes.
And that'll be caught by Tony.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Chiefs have got the passing game rolling a bit, and another first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Now here's Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. That's Palmer. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a first and goal.
They'll run here with Moss.
And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on first and goal.
Moss once more, and he's not going too far. In fact, stopped dead in his tracks at the 3.
It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
Brooks is into the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
They decided to run it in and got it done on 3rd and goal. A lot of times, that's a passing play.
And the kicker, this has to come out for the PAT. He can breathe a sigh of relief as well, right?
Although I don't know if he's really breathing a sigh of relief. I think he likes to put 3 points on his ledger.
Tucker now for the extra point. It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. Here's the Chiefs kickoff unit now as they'll send this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Denver's offense now set to go. Over on the sideline, hoping to hit that reset button between possessions. Last time out, they had to punt it away. This time, hoping to finish this thing off in the end zone. To throw, here's Nix.
And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. Now a 10th carry. Here's Williams. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
64 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
And that, nearly picked off. It would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's 2nd down.
Up the middle, it's Williams.
And he'll be tackled at the 45 following a gain of just 2.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. 1 quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. We're back now in KC. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these 2 teams as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Nix to the air. He's got his target. That's complete.
And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 35. Great way to convert on 3rd down there. 21 yards the play.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 35-yard line. Now a give up the middle to Williams. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Now after the false start, here's 2nd and 7. Working out of the gun is Nix. It's complete to Diggs. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that will bring up 2nd down. Now a give right side. Clemens. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. The offense on 3rd down today, they're at 50%, 4 for 8. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. Back to throw. Nix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play.
We'll step aside and get an update when we return to KC.
Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown. And that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal.
Williams will take it in. Touchdown, Denver.
And this is a time of game where offensive lines can really dictate a team's fortunes. It's been a tough battle. They've been out there for a long time. But this was a question of who can wear down who. And that's excellent work to put a long drive together and finish it with a touchdown run to take the lead.
Extra point by McPherson, up and good.
And that will make this a 4-point game.
After the touchdown, McPherson on to kick this one away. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line.
Here's the Kansas City offense now as they get set to take over. And what a pressure spot for both sides, really. But they're at home now. They have the football here in the playoffs, sort of controlling their own destiny.
It's a spot they've all dreamed of. This is where you want to be. Home, have the ball, a chance to win the game, control your own destiny, as you noted. But here's the thing. Don't let the crowd get too involved if you're this team now. You've got to make sure you let them carry you, but not cause you to do things out of what you're supposed to do, right? Take you away from focusing and concentrating on the game.
Because sometimes you get so amped from the crowd that can carry you into spots you don't want to be. Is that what you're saying?
From experience, sometimes that crowd gets so involved in it and you get involved with them that you end up making plays or trying to do things that maybe you shouldn't have done.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he will have a Chiefs 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
On 2nd down, it's Moss again.
Well, shifts past him.
And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. 113 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 43. In motion, the tight end. Throwing now is Mahomes. That's complete to Palmer. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a first down again.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
On 1st and 10, it's Brooks.
And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
They'll stay on the ground with Brooks.
And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26.
When a drive goes this long, you have to give a lot of credit to the guys up front, those big fellas, because the offensive line is putting something together that allows them to continue to control the ball. And I know a lot of people think they get fatigued on a long drive. Actually, a lot of times the reverse happens. They actually get energized because they're controlling the ball, and they're the ones dictating to the defense.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Mahomes going to throw.
Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete.
And that's the knowledge you gain from being in this league for a long time. He's learned the hard way when to give up and fight another down. And that's a smart move to throw it away.
Tucker's kick is good, and that'll bring him back within a point. So with that field goal, this one's now back within a field goal. Maybe not the ultimate result they wanted, but gets them that much closer.
This game is unfolding like a really good book, isn't it? Because I feel like there's a few more plot twists yet to be revealed before this one is over.
And able to get this out to the 25.
So the Broncos coming out now.
And this a very important drive leading to the 4th quarter of this wild card game. But this one far from over as they start out here 1st down.
That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on 1st and 2nd downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
Caught left side by Mechie.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that'll give them a short yardage situation here for 2nd down. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the 2 defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
Mechie, the man in motion. And they'll fake the jet sweep, and instead of give up the middle to Williams.
And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Throwing Nix.
And the Chiefs are going to signal for and be granted another timeout. That's going to be their 2nd. They'll be left with 1 more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
The Chiefs quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter.
Williams going to get it again on 2nd down.
And he'll get about 5 here. So take this down inside the 20-yard line. As big of a play as we've had in this one so far. This is 3rd and 3.
Fourth quarter, 2 minutes on the clock in a tight one-point game.
So it's Bronco football as we get your reset here. They've got a third down, but they are in field goal range already. Looking to throw. Nix. That one behind his man, incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the points. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here comes Mahomes and the Chiefs. Down 24-20, a minute 51 on the clock. A touchdown likely means they move on to these playoffs. Tense moments for the hometown faithful as they've got it with a first down. Mahomes. That's caught by Palmer. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35.
No timeout. You got to go quick here.
Mahomes. That's again complete to Palmer. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Plenty of time to work with here, but the timeouts, they're gone. Here's 1st and 10. Mahomes to throw it. That's complete to Tony.
And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35.
They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Here's Mahomes. That's going to be caught. It's Palmer.
And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down.
Mahomes will throw.
Over the middle, he finds Godwin complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. And now down to 24 seconds after the spike.
Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Mahomes.
And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. Now Mahomes got to have this one. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and as a result, their playoff run may end right here. Well, their first 4th down attempt earlier was successful. This one backfires for a turnover on downs.
I like their aggressiveness. I like what they're doing. They got it the first time they went for it. Why not a second time? I don't think they'll be daunted from attempting it again. If you're on the defensive side of the ball, though, any 4th down stop is a big momentum play.
And I know it's hard to find solace on one side when the season ends, no matter where it ends, but especially in the playoffs because there's all that build up to the moment. But I would imagine the post-game locker room speech, it'll have a pretty positive spin.
It should. They've made a heck of a run to get to the playoffs and have that chance to advance, even though they didn't. But you're right about how much it's going to hurt, because when you work that hard to get this far, it hurts just a little bit more. No matter when your season ends, it's a downer. But in this case, even more so because you had your eyes on the big prize, which was the Lombardi Trophy.
And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
It's the opening playoffs, and EA Sports continues its coverage.
It's the first of 6 games here on Super Wildcard Weekend, and we are underway on EA Sports. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So here comes the Raider offense now onto the field. And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yards with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
A 2nd and 10, a very chilly day here, but no snow. And I got to say, if it's going to be this cold, I want snow. You should see Charles' face. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. Richardson on the bootleg here. And he is caught. And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. 9 yards that time.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd and 6.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6.
Richardson.
And he comes back with one complete. And he's got a first down as the tackle made at the Bills' 35. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. So 1st and 10 now in Buffalo territory at the 35-yard line. Got a man and he hits him in stride. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
Off-play action, Richardson. That's complete to the tight end, Werner.
And he's down into the red zone at the 15 after a gain of 15. 1st and 10.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. And Richardson yet again. And this throw a bit late as he couldn't reach back for it. Now a 2nd and 10. Read option, this is Gibbs.
He will push his way down to about the 14. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Now Richardson back to throw it. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Coaches talk about it all the time. Players talk about it as well. Excellent job staying disciplined in coverage and making that stop. Inside the red zone, every stop like that could be preventing a possible touchdown.
And his kick is right there. It's good. Not a touchdown, obviously, but playoffs, you're on the road. At least you put something on the board.
I would agree with that totally. You're not exactly sending a message to the opposition, but you are letting them know that you came to play.
That's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29.
So here come the Bills on offense for the first time. They'll have Lamar Jackson calling the shots, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville.
And he comes into this wild card round off of a really good regular season, better than 30 touchdown passes. And he said he feels like he can take some shots against the secondary. In fact, in our meeting, he said not only can he take shots, he expects to do it early.
They go play action with Jackson. And this one is incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Now the first carry for Devin Singletary.
And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
And force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or two short. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now fourth down.
Well, you know, paramount for this defense is trying to keep Lamar Jackson somewhat contained when he tries to run. They did a pretty good job of it there.
And you know it's so difficult for every defense that has to prepare for Lamar Jackson? You have to think and play at the same time. And I know that sounds like something you're supposed to do, but when you have to think about your assignments against him, it often slows down your feet. You don't move as fast. You've got to be prepared for this guy every step of the way and then try and match his athleticism.
The Vegas offense ready for their next possession.
They bring the 5 seed into the playoffs. Of course, they're one of the wild card teams. And when you're a wild card team, it makes it a little bit tougher. You have to win the extra game, but there's been a precedent set of teams doing that successfully in the past.
And it's usually teams that have aspects that really jump out at you and are really factors in the playoffs. I mean, Pittsburgh, they rode a heavy run game with Jerome Bettis when they won in 2005. And then don't forget the Giants in 2007, that season, pass rush. Remember how big that was for them during the playoffs. And for Green Bay, it was the quarterback play of Aaron Rodgers. So to me, it's a matter of what's going to affect the game in a big way. Can that aspect of your team really make those plays? A lot of times it's pass rush and quarterback play.
Give them a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Richardson looking to throw this.
And Davis has it over the middle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down.
2 yards to go, second down. From the gun, Gibbs will get it.
And he stopped immediately there. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
2 yards still to go, third down now.
Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down.
And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
So forget the 3 and out. The penalty makes this 1st and 10.
Richardson looking to throw.
Caught right side, Davis. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
Straight ahead with Gibbs here.
And he'll get it down here to the 43. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Here's Richardson to throw.
And incomplete.
Offense was moving it a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they earned a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
Here's a give left side for Shipley.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Well, when you're a road team in the playoffs, when you're a wild card, what's the one thing you need to be able to do to stay in football games? Run the football. And that's an excellent job right there of identifying where to go and picking up good yardage.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10.
Buying time to his left. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
That's the first time he's called his own number, but he's got to be overjoyed with the results. He wasn't just going to settle for a modest gain. To me, he was determined to come through with a big message to a defense that slept on him in the pocket.
And that is incomplete. Well, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
Now Richardson.
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown.
Jamar Chase
From 4 yards out. And the Raiders are able to stretch out their lead. That's why you've got your star out there. Throw the ball to him. They did.
That's simply saying we don't care what coverage you put out there. He's so good, we're going there with the football anyway, and there's not a thing you can do about it.
Inside the red zone, they go to him. He gets it done. The extra point up and good. And the lead grows to 10-0. So that one a long 11-play drive.
And it was Jamar Chase who finished it off with a touchdown reception. So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And they'll have very good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. So here come the Bills out for their second drive. They've been a come-from-behind team all year. They'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And the catch made. It's Tyler Boyd. And he's brought down. 16 yards there, and the Bills have a first down.
And as a quarterback, you always want to exploit gaps in the defense, and he finds one here. Crossing route, working from right to left across the field. And once you get defenders going in the wrong direction, it is awfully hard for them to pivot back, and you end up getting the first down.
They'll run on first down with Singletary. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Plays like we just saw there. That's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. Second quarter now in Buffalo. It's the Bills in control of the football. A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. To throw is Jackson. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 24-yard line. A nice pickup of 10 means that this drive will stay on track. Singletary here running out of the gun. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Right back to Singletary on 2nd down. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on 3rd down. Now Jackson. And this pass broken up. Excellent coverage there on third down, as that was not an easy one to hold on to.
Like what I see so far out of this defense, because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
So a good job there to kind of weather the storm in that first quarter and come back with their first points of the ball game.
Yeah, you hate to be coming from behind early on, but you're exactly right. They took some time, able to move the ball, and now it's back to a 10-3 game.
And just shutting him off there. And a very solid return out across the 45-yard line before going out of bounds. Here's Las Vegas ready to take the field. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it, a really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Give them 12 yards that time, and a Las Vegas first.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Another run for Gibbs here. And this time they were waiting for him, as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great, because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Raider first down.
Partner, if you want more carries, I think we saw how you get him. Showed that he's got the fresh legs, and he picked up the first down on that run. Don't just ask for him. Show him that you're supposed to get the football.
Now it's Richardson. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the first down marker. He'll wind up getting right about 4 there on the scramble. And it's 2nd down. The first carry now. This is Johnson. Able to fight through one tackle. And he couldn't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a good gain of 11. Sets him up 1st and goal. Play action. Now Richardson. Under pressure, down he goes. Sacked at the 10. Devin Bush driving in and picking up the sack.
We said it before the game, and I think it's still apparent. If these guys are going to advance in these playoffs, they're going to have to wreak some havoc coming off the edge.
Yeah, wild card round. They told us the wild card could be that defensive pressure. They showed it there. Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped. But I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Back to throw. Here's Richardson. Got his tight end. That's complete. It's Willis. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal. Operating from the gun. Richardson. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for them. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
And his kick here is good. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3.
So that one on target, and it adds to this first half lead.
And maybe we're too early to worry too much about one-score lead, two-score lead, etc. But this is where you kind of start banking those points that come in helpful later on.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
The Bills offense coming out, ready to take over. They're in a 13-3 hole here now as they come up on first down. Singletary to get the drive started. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Second down and 8.
I think if they want to start getting back into this game, it behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive. And he completes it to Boyd. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Here's Jackson. Connecting over the middle with Downs.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Throwing is Jackson. And he fires one incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. And that's incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's fourth down.
It's going to be another frustrating end to a drive here. This offense, they've not been able to get anything going in this first half. And now it's going to be time to gather on the sidelines and try and figure out what's going wrong. Who has an idea? Who has a plan? Time to implement it.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
Gibbs straight ahead. Still going inside the 20.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders.
Jahmyr Gibbs,
52 yards.
and the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
Sometimes running plays hit or break so fast, there's no reaction time from the secondary. So I've got to give credit to the offensive line for creating that hole so suddenly. And how decisive was he to take that cut and just go? No one downfield there to stop him.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. It only took him 2 plays there to find the end zone. The last one, the long run, getting him in for 6 points. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They've got to be a little shell-shocked. Down double digits at home in the playoffs. Still in the first half. They've got to turn things around quickly. On first down, they'll start out with Singletary. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Defenses always talk about earning the right to rush the passer on 3rd down. And you know what offenses want? Win first down so they can set things up for themselves better.
And that wasn't helpful there. Not a big impact on first down. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on second down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
But you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on second and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing: get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass him with a running play.
The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's fourth down.
This defense has certainly played well so far in this game, and the coverage has been tight on just about every throw. Forced a few here so far in this game, and now it brings up fourth down.
That'll go as a punt of 32 yards.
And it'll be Raiders football, 1st and 10. But Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of the offense headed back out.
He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back, and that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down. Back to throw. Richardson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, third down.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down.
On third down, he'll drop to throw.
Setting up the screen, this is Gibbs.
And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. And now the Bills are going to stop it as they call a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away.
And this will be taken at the 13.
A nice punt, but a good run back as well, 13 yards.
And the Bills will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
Charles, we'll see what they can do here. Not a ton of time left, but enough certainly to get points out of this drive, and they need them right now because they're trailing.
Yeah, and this is exactly why you practice a 2-minute drill all through camp and at least one practice each week before a game. A minute left, more than enough time to string a few completions together, reach the end zone, and then make that walk back to the locker room just a little more animated.
Here's Jackson to throw.
He'll find the rookie here from Texas Tech.
Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Now it's Jackson. And he slings one that's incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
Now it's Jackson. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. A misconnection there. He's hit on just 50% of his passes thus far. That's not where you want to be.
Now you see the evolution of the game. You go back to the quarterbacks of old, 50% would be terrific because they threw the ball downfield almost every time they threw it. Now with the short passing game, you should be above 60% just to be in the average range.
Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. Butker's kick here is good, and that will close the gap down to 14. Well, not the best first half facing this deficit, but at least they did put 3 on the board before half.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that stormy, cloudy day, and the sun peeks through just for a second. They saw the sun there. They're hoping to see a little bit more of it in the second half.
And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we're at halftime of this AFC Wildcard matchup as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. But first, let's remind everybody what's coming up tomorrow in the AFC. we've got the 3-6 game, as it'll be the New England Patriots matching up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. In the first half, it was the Alabama man, Jahmyr Gibbs, who had it cooking. He wound up finding the end zone on a touchdown run to help give his guys the advantage here at the break. The highlights are fairly one-sided to this point. It's a 2-touchdown difference here at the break, but I wouldn't call this one over just yet. I think there could still be some fireworks yet to come.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. Both teams trying to avoid being one and done in these playoffs as we start the second half of this AFC Wildcard game. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Out come the Bills now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. Well, the first half, they struggled a little bit to keep pace offensively, CD, down 2 scores here. So how do they make some changes coming out of the locker room?
Well, they've studied what they did in the first half. They've seen what the defense is throwing at them. Now they want to have a plan of attack against it. So you come out, you're not going to get all the points back on one drive, but get started on it. Start chopping into that lead, and maybe it'll inspire your defense to help out as well.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Still first down.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And this taken in by Downs. It'll be a gain of 5, and they'll be left with a second and about a foot. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. They'll run out of the gun with Singletary.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
They'll get this to Devin Singletary out of the backfield. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards.
And that might be exactly what they needed to wake up this home crowd. They haven't given them much to cheer for so far, and never underestimate the effect the home crowd with you can have on a game.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Jackson. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Finally hauled down for the first time this game. Multiple defenders in there to drop him.
I know there'll be a little bit of criticism there because they went right back to the air after the huge pickup and end up getting sacked. That's often a play that you make. You feel like you've got momentum on your side.
Unfortunately, the O-line failed to hold up to try to keep that momentum going. Jackson. That is caught at the 7. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Jackson now. And he's going to go down. Sacked back at the 13-yard line. Derek Barnett in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that will lead to 4th down. They've been moving the ball well offensively, really getting into a groove. Last play, pass completion. Now, finally, the defense gets there.
And you have to find a way to disrupt their rhythm. Do you do it with coverage, or do you do it with pressure? They elected to go with pressure, and it was the right call.
Butker's kick here is good, and that will get the disadvantage now back down to 11. So a good drive there to begin quarter number
three, but they're only able to shave 3 points off the lead.
Well, something's better than nothing, all right? They didn't play particularly well in the first half, but they definitely need them to step on the accelerator now and play a whole lot better.
And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10.
Richardson. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete. 2nd and 10. Richardson out of the shotgun.
He finds his man. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. Now this is picked up by the Bills. And they're going to take over right there at the 22-yard line.
So potentially a turning point here in the 3rd quarter as that swings the door back open just a bit.
Yeah, they're still down 2 scores, but I do think we're at that point in the game where you're going to reach for the football whenever possible. You're going to hear the coaches scream from the sidelines, tackle him, second guy in, tackle the ball.
Buffalo set to get the football back here.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But also have to remember, they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A 1st down, a 16-yard gain. Looking to throw. Jackson. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch. Not much yardage afterwards.
Singletary. Oh, he's going absolutely nowhere as he is hit behind the line.
That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
3rd and goal, Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it.
Bad place to fumble down here in the red zone. At least they got it. They'll have another shot. Or no, they won't have another shot. It's going to be 4th down. Maybe they can at least salvage 3.
And they were thinking 6 points because at this position of the field, it's go time, right? You take your shots at the end zone. They weren't able to do that one. So you look over at the sideline. There's the head coach saying, "Oh, heck, kick it. Field goal time."
Butker's kick here is good, and that'll make this an 8-point game.
So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Raiders offense coming back out onto the field.
And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So in other words, someone got lucky because they've been moving the ball really well and wearing them down. In this case, though, giving up the football doesn't make them very happy. They can't wait to get back out there and atone for it.
Yeah, try to atone for it here on this drive.
Out of the gun, they give to Gibbs.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Richardson looking to throw this. That is caught. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
Hand off now to Gibbs. We'll get this up to about the 44.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut. Now Richardson back to throw it. Getting the football to Davis on an out route. And he's going to be taken down here, still a couple yards short of the first.
So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Here's Richardson to throw.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Raiders try it on 4th down, but to no avail. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
Buffalo offense back out ready to go. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I've never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
From the gun, it's Jackson. And this is incomplete.
Third quarter, wild card round. Thanks for being along for the playoff ride with us. Here's 2nd and 10.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. To throw is Jackson.
He's got his pass-catching tight end. That's Pitts.
And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 16.
Going for Kyle Pitts again. He's got him again.
And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. Another first down as they call his number again. He's got 15 yards here.
And that's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort. But instead, he sets his guys up in excellent shape with a 1st and goal.
Henry will take this over the line. Touchdown, Buffalo.
And maybe that's the magic touch right there. They didn't use him at all in the first half, at least running the football. But here they entrust him with some work down in the red zone, and he responds. 1 carry, 1 touchdown.
And now Sean McDermott's made the call. They'll go for 2. Jackson here, he's going to look to throw. And he'll get into the end zone, and those 2 points are going to tie the game. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Fitting for what's been a tight ball game. We're all even at 20 now as the kick's away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out.
And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. They'll get a yard, that's all, as they get him down at the 28.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
From the shotgun, Richardson.
He finds his man, complete. It's man. And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34. One quarter remains for the right to survive round 1 here in the AFC. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Buffalo. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. The Raiders on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. Here it's 3rd and 3.
Richardson working from the gun. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete.
Down the numbers. There he goes.
And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. Jamar Chase
with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon.
And the Raiders answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th.
Well, that's a heck of a response to regain the lead after we had seen the touchdown to tie the game.
I would say what we just saw there was a great amount of poise, because typically when teams tie the game up, it's a little bit of a, how would you say, you kind of take a step back and have to get yourself regrouped. They regrouped in a hurry, didn't they? They attacked back after they'd been tied.
And in a big way, that was a statement-long touchdown. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. And now out come the Bills.
They trail by a touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Their season, to be frank, it's on the line right now in this wild card matchup. And obviously points are a must here as they begin 1st and 10.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line.
41 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
They go play action now. Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Jermaine Pratt fighting in and dropping him for the loss.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Now Jackson.
That's going to be taken in by Downs.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A gain there of 30 big ones.
A very nice job right there, working the middle of the field, able to create some separation and then utilize it to not just make the catch, but turn upfield once he got the ball in his hands.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. A give up the middle to Singletary. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage.
And the tackle there by Jermaine Pratt. Here's 2nd and 10.
Singletary again. And this time he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11. Backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Derek Barnett picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. So a big one coming now for Harrison Butker. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And that is no good. Oh, he missed it just wide of the upright, and this will stay at a 7-point game.
Yeah, 55 yards is anything but a gimme. You've got to really concentrate on your leg swing and proper technique. This time, though, he's unable to convert.
The Raiders offense and Anthony Richardson ready for this next possession. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. The Las Vegas offense ready to start this next drive. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And give him 6 yards here as he stopped near the 35 at the 34.
If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the 4th quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand. They're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal? That'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball.
And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
They need 2. Here's 3rd down. Straight ahead, Shipley.
He's going to be a yard short. Needed 2, but only got 1. 4th down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And no move to get the offense off the field. They'll stay put on 4th and 1.
Richardson looking to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he'll be taken down, but he does have 1st down yardage.
Now Richardson.
He finds his man. Complete. That's man. They get him to the ground right on the cusp of the red zone after a pickup of 5 or 6. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down.
Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs.
And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's got to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brent, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now. And here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football. And that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
So many times we've seen him try to escape the pocket and do something with his legs, but in this case, the pressure was too intense and he made the wise choice to just get rid of the football and make sure no one was going to get it.
And this one is right through, and that will extend their lead even further.
So that's, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here.
If they want to advance in this divisional round, look, obviously the time is now. Trailing here in the 4th as they go to work on a crucial drive, 1st and 10.
Here's Jackson. And down he goes. Brought down a Raiders sack.
Brian Burns in there to record another sack, and that is now 6 on the afternoon for this defensive unit. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
And he makes it all the way down to the 31. A big play here for Buffalo. 44 yards.
And here's a spot where this offense says, we got to start making something happen. We're down 2 scores. It's the 4th quarter. We've got to start moving with some urgency. And here's a big play that gives them a ray of hope that they can get back in this one.
Now it's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Timing's crucial in any route thrown, but when you throw an out, so many things are going through the mind of the receiver. Catching the ball, timing it up with the quarterback. Are my feet going to get down inbounds? On that play, all those things going through his head might have caused him to drop it.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Jackson will throw again. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. From the shotgun now, here's an inside give. Still going. And he is into the end zone for a Buffalo touchdown. George Pickens from 17 yards out. And the Bills have made it a 1-score game again here in the 4th. So that CD, that was impressive. He got out of 3, maybe 4 tackles there on his way to the end zone.
And a lot of times when you break a tackle or slip a tackle, it actually slows you down. That's what we were taught. If you don't make the play, make him stop his feet so someone else can get there and tackle him. But not here. He just kept right on going.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Now the Raiders offense, they get set to head back on the field. Things sure were looking good for them at the half. Heck, off the air, you and I were just saying they might run away with this thing and cruise to a victory. Not anymore.
Yeah, the cruise control has to be off at this point. Now you've got to match the gas yourself. Again, who's going to step up and make a big play for you? Who's going to take care of business now that you're being pressed? It is definitely go time for them at this moment.
All of a sudden clinging to a slim lead and hoping to hold on to that lead. Quick throw completed by Richardson. Now the Bills will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. Richardson off the play fake. On the move to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. The Bills are going to go ahead and use their final timeout. So that will leave them with no timeouts left. Still plenty of time on the clock. We'll see how that affects things here in this 4th quarter. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They'll run again. And he can only get this to the 42-yard line. And that is not near enough.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that one hit
hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. So Lamar Jackson in the offense, down by a field goal, 70 seconds remaining. Their sold-out crowd is behind him. They need at least a field goal to tie as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's Jackson. He's got Pickens complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. They come up now on 2nd and 2. Now Jackson. And this one is going to be off the mark, too far out in front. This definitely 4-down territory at this point, but a critical 3rd down here. Jackson. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. Oh, and one of the linemen on the other side has got it. And this defense has broken it open as they return it to the house for 6. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room, or they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave them a comfortable lead.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again. But they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly. Then they'll take it from there.
And now the spike comes with 28 seconds left on the clock.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. Jackson.
Fighting to stay upright. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down.
Here now, 3rd down. Throwing, Jackson.
Dancing to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
It's been a nice day for him as a passer and as a runner. One of the few mistakes he's made in this ball game. The wrong choice on that one. That one goes incomplete.
Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Pass taken in by his big tight end. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down.
Jackson to throw.
And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
They'll try again here, 2nd and 10.
One last shot for Jackson.
And that is going to officially draw the curtain on this one as the last throw intercepted.
And a disappointing way to close out the season. He got into the playoffs but couldn't really make any noise.
Still a good season. Some might call it a great season when they get away from it a little bit, but they also will all look at their own errors, their own mistakes, and wonder how they could have played a little bit better. So if they get in this position again, they'll be ready to win.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Buffalo.